That is my destiny.
Because I remember people being not even so much like angry like they are like on the internet where they're just like like railing against something. They just felt like this, yeah, a betrayal. Like you just caught your boyfriend in bed with somebody else. Like all of this, and this is how you leave me. It was almost depressing. I don't know, Mark, do you recall that from that time?
I sort of learned from The Last Jedi release, to call back your point earlier, that I really tried to not get in the heads of fans and critics too much as to what they were expecting. But a lot of me reacting to the reactions of Game of Thrones season 8 was based around, there's so many people who love this so much that they actually read the books. And when I say read the books, 90% of them did the audiobook. They listened to it. They had it read to them. So you don't get a Mensa membership for that. But they cared about it. And then all of a sudden, HBO and the creators of the show sort of are going forward from the books because George R. R. Martin hadn't finished writing what he was going to do. And so I think that whereas they were approaching the prior seasons with some working knowledge of what was going to happen, even though those took some twists and turns that weren't in the books, they knew what to expect. And then they just became like the rest of us, where it felt like it was just flying by the seat of our pants and making this up as we go along because nobody really knew how this was going to end. And so I think that left a sour taste in people's mouth. Just my 2 cents.
What about you, Andreas? I mean, I'm sure you were watching it real time. Did you feel like left out with how angry people were? Did you feel like, hey, were you like trying to, evangelicalize them that day and be like, no, look, this is what's good? Or were you kind of like, I get it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if we remember, the Game of Thrones was the biggest show when it was airing. It was everyone was watching it. I remember my roommate and I watching it as season 8 was airing, and I watched The Long Night with him, episode 3, and I was just kind of like ripping out my hair and being blown away by what I was seeing on screen. And after the episode, he was like, "Oh yeah, what was that?" And I'm like, "What was that?" It was a cinematic masterpiece on TV, and we just kind of forgot about it because we wanted more answers. I guess is the biggest thing that Game of Thrones fans wanted. I also feel like it's a little bit. It's very complex because I really do feel like the way that Game of Thrones fandom just dissipated into nothingness is something that is just going to be in the history books. I've never seen a fandom disappear to the point that Game of Thrones fandom has disappeared after season 8. Because if you want to say Star Wars, for example, as far as fandom split on the sequels, there's still a lot of sequels fans. There's still a lot of Star Wars being made, and there's still a lot of people who enjoy going back and rewatching those movies. I don't know any Game of Thrones. I don't know Game of Thrones Twitter, Game of Thrones TikTok, the way that there is like other fandoms who have just come back strong. So there is no denying that the fans did feel some sort of betrayal. I just feel like there's one major decision that was made that kind of got people up in arms, and they just kind of forgot about the other 6 hours of the season that actually was really well shot, directed, performed, done, acted. Everything was just quality all the way. But the fact that the decision I'm referring to is Bran being king, which is definitely a WTF moment. Everyone was like, Bran is king? Oh, season 8 sucks.